All right, good Wednesday morning to everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started on technology, and this webinar will be presented by Carrie Hinton. And then afterwards, for any admins that I do have on the call, mainly from Wisconsin, that are interested in learning a little bit more about the new hire process and which local boards and national boards that your agents do have to join, please stay on the webinar and I'll quickly talk about that afterwards. Otherwise, I will pass over to Carrie and we will go ahead and get started on technology portion.
Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about technology, and I am basically going to be talking about those pieces of technology that make our lives a little bit easier in the real estate business. I do get a lot of questions about what kind of phone to buy, do I need a tablet, what kind of laptop do I need, what kind of apps do I need on my phone. I get a lot of questions about that and where good places are to buy these different pieces of equipment, so we're just going to go over that today. First, I want to talk about cell phones. Everyone asks, you know, yes, I have a smartphone, but do I really, you know, am I using it to the fullest capabilities? Most people really aren't. There are a lot of apps that are really beneficial for agents that make their lives easier and also help brand them as a realtor when they're out with friends and family and things like that. The big real estate apps are Realtor.com has an app, Century21.com has an app. We have our mobile website. These are the kind of things that I find when I'm out with people and they know that I'm a realtor or we're talking about real estate or houses. They'll ask me about a house, so they'll say, this house down the street from me is on the market. Do you know anything about it? And if you have these apps on your phone, it makes it very easy for you to look up this information and to share this information with other people and basically to let them know that you are the go-to person for these kinds of questions. And so when they're talking about you or out with other people and talking about real estate, they can say, you know, I've got this great realtor. She always seems to know what's going on. Even if she's not at her computer, she's got it on her phone. She can look it right up for you. She's got the information. So those things are very important for branding yourself as a realtor and being on top of what's going on in your market. There are apps that are specific to our business that are helpful. A Lead Router has an iPhone app as well as a mobile website. So when we're talking about having to update our Lead Router leads, you know, we all have times where we're in a line waiting for a few minutes or waiting to pick somebody up. Take that 5 minutes, go into Lead Router, update your leads, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's something I know that some people keep on top of, and some people are getting constant reminders from their admins that they have read leads. And Lead Router and Century21 are really trying to make it as easy as possible for you to be connected and to update those leads. Centralized Showing also has an app for phones where if you're out and about and all of a sudden you get a call from your sellers, they're going to be out of town, they don't want showings this weekend. Well, it's after hours, so your admin's not at the office, and what are you going to do? Well, you can use that Centralized Showing app on your phone to put a block on those days on the weekend so showings do not get set up on those days. Super easy, super quick, it's right there for you, makes your life easier. As far as particular phones go, when people ask me, that really, in my opinion, is personal preference and the carrier that you use. So we all know we have Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T. In Wisconsin, we use U.S. Cellular. Agents and admins should know that Century21 does offer benefits for different carriers, not for U.S. Cellular yet, but for the major ones, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint. And it can be a percentage. Sprint is 17% off your monthly bill. All you need to do is let them know you're a Century21 realtor, and they'll take that off your monthly bill. So those are important things for you to take advantage of. As far as iPhone versus Android, my advice on that tends to be if you are a person that syncs your phone between your computer and your phone and you are really very techie like that, you're going to want a phone that works with whatever computer you have. So if you're a Mac person, you have a iPad, you have a Mac computer, then an iPhone is the obvious choice. If you are more of a PC person and maybe you have an iPad as one of your tools, but you don't know what kind of phone that you should get, I still say get an Android phone because it's going to work the best with your PC. Again, in my opinion, personal preference and budget, because some phones can be very expensive. So you have to look at that as part of your overall budget for your business. How much money am I going to spend on technology? Is this piece of technology I'm buying the most effective use of my money for my business? Phones have gotten better as well as far as being able to talk on them. For a while, phones are being made that were so advanced as far as computing skills, but then you couldn't actually talk to anyone on them. They couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear them. I had a phone like this. It used to drive me nuts. But they've gotten better, and now phones, are better, easier to talk on. You can get the headsets if you need to, that kind of thing. So in my opinion, that's not as big of a concern as it used to be. So again, phones goes back to, your budget and what carrier you prefer, because signal is different everywhere. And if you're not sure, then ask other realtors what service they use, and if they find the signal to be strong enough in the areas that they go to. I used to have AT&T, and I had to switch because I couldn't get service in the areas that I needed to go to in our offices up north. I just couldn't get service up there, and that was not acceptable. So I had to switch from AT&T to US Cellular. So those are good things to know when you're looking at buying a new phone or using a new provider. So moving on to tablets. Do I need a tablet? Will a tablet actually help me in my business? The other thing that I always say about technology is whatever you have only works for you as much as you work it. So if you buy a piece of technology and you never use it, well, then maybe that wasn't the most effective use of your money for your business. So you have to look at that and, again, look at your budget when you're talking about buying an iPad versus an Android tablet. And then that goes back to, do I use a PC? Do I have an Android phone? Well, if I do have those two pieces of technology, then the Android tablet is going to fit in best with those two pieces of technology. I know a lot of people buy iPads and then are frustrated when they don't work, with their other pieces of technology, or they don't find that the iPad does anything for them in their business. So these are definitely things to consider when you're talking about spending a chunk of change on a tablet. And there are tablet prices all over the market, all over the range, from $100, up to, depending on what you spend on the iPad, up to $600. So those are all questions you have to ask for yourself when you're budgeting for your personal technology. How do people use tablets in their business? A lot of agents tell me that they will take tablets on their listing presentations or on their buyer tours. Instead of taking their laptop, the tablet is much more portable. So when they're on a buyer tour, the buyer might say, well, I'm not really sure why you picked this house to show to me, or why didn't you show me this house? I see that's for sale across the street. And you can pull up the listing for the house across the street and say, this one doesn't really fit what you're looking for, or the price doesn't fit what you're looking for, and you have that information right at your fingertips. For your listing presentations, when you're talking about Android tablets typically have what's called an HDMI port, which means you can plug it into a flat screen TV. So if you have a tablet presentation and your seller has a TV, you can plug that tablet right into the TV and go through your presentation right on that big screen with your seller. Again, these are simple things, but definitely show your sellers and your buyers that you are on top of technology and that you're a tech-savvy agent. And these days, that's what people are really looking for as far as your knowledge about the market. You can know everything, the ins and outs of your market, but if your buyers and sellers don't think you have the technology sense to draw the buyers that are coming from the internet, that is a downside in many people's opinion these days. So places to buy technology. I almost always order everything online. And why do I order everything online versus going to a Best Buy or a store like that? Typically because I'm going to get a better price online, and I'm going to have a better selection online than what I'm going to find at these stores. So, and some people say, well, I need something, you know, right away. A lot of these places ship really quickly. So one of my favorite websites that I have up here is Tiger Direct. Tiger Direct has a warehouse that ships out of Illinois. I frequently have gotten things next day, and I'm talking about computers. I've ordered a computer on Monday, and I've received it on Tuesday. So if you need something shipped quickly, and Tiger Direct is definitely your place to go. Amazon, too, as well, you can get fast shipping from. So if you're looking for, say, the adapter on your laptop goes out and you need one right away, you can go to Best Buy and get one. Again, you're going to pay more. So if you plan a little bit ahead and have a couple of days, go to Amazon, go to tigerdirect.com and order these things and save yourself some money. So the other website that I like for technology is called Newegg. So we have Newegg and Tiger Direct. And these both have daily emails where they'll send you the deals that they have on a daily basis. There are always great deals in there depending on what you're looking for, printers, software, all kinds of things in there that you can find. And again, like I said, I order everything from one of these two websites typically. Some other questions I get are about refurbished technology. What does refurbished mean? Basically, refurbished means that someone ordered it, used it, and for whatever reason it failed during the time of the warranty when they had it, and they send it back into the manufacturer. So the manufacturer takes it, fixes whatever is wrong with it, and then sells it as refurbished. Typically, you're getting a much lower price on these refurbished items, but you're also getting less of a warranty. Typically, the warranty on refurbished items will only be 90 days. The exception in that case are some of the computer manufacturers. Lenovo is one of those brands that will give you a full year warranty on a refurbished computer. And I personally like Lenovo as a brand. They used to be IBM. And NAR actually offers a discount for realtors to purchase computers directly from Lenovo. So that's another benefit that you should be aware of as well. The one thing that I do not buy refurbished is monitors. Monitors are one of those things that can be really flaky. You know, you buy a monitor, 90 days later, it dies on you, you're out whatever money you've spent. But I will buy refurbished tablets, refurbished computers. People ask me about refurbished iPads. In my opinion, those are fine to buy as well if you're looking for a piece of technology at a lower price. Do we have any questions?
Right now, it doesn't look like we do. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, you can always type in a question if you have any technology questions whatsoever.
So let's talk about laptops. And there are so many different kinds of laptops out there these days that it's definitely hard to know what is the best use of my money in a laptop. First of all, you have to decide, what are you going to be using this laptop for? Is it going to be a combination of personal and business use? Is it just strictly for business? Is it going to be something that you're going to have to carry around all the time? These factors go into the size of the laptop that you're looking to purchase. Laptops come in 17-inch, 15.6-inch, 14-inch, and 13-inch screen sizes. Now, the 17 inches, obviously, with the big screen size, are going to be a heavier laptop, but they're also going to be better for viewing. So if you're using your laptop for personal stuff where you might be watching TV on it, you might want the bigger screen. The 15.6 inch is your standard size laptop. That's what you're going to see normally. The 14-inch is slightly smaller. That is the smallest size laptop that you can get that will still have an internal DVD drive. So if you go smaller than 14 inches, those are typically not going to have the ability to put a DVD in. You'll have to get an external DVD drive for those smaller sizes. So the 14 inches is the smallest you can go and still have a DVD drive. And a lot of people like those because they are much lighter. They come in around 3.5, 4 pounds, so they're super portable. But again, it's the smaller size screen, so it's not always for everyone in that choice. So once you've decided what size of a laptop, obviously you've got your different brands. And some people are partial to a certain brand, which is fine. You've got your Dell, your HP, Lenovo. One of the other brands that most people don't know about that I like is called Asus, and that's A-S-U-S. One of the brands that I don't care for, and that's just my personal experience with working on those computers, are Acer computers, A-C-E-R. Those you will find on the lower end of cost, and I've just had issues with customer support, and as far as working on those computers, it's not my preference to buy that brand. Gateway has come back, and Gateway computers are back again, and those are usually at the lower end of the price point. And I've purchased those for a couple of people, and they've been very happy with Gateways as well. So you got to figure out screen size, brand, and where am I going to buy it? Am I going to go to Best Buy? Am I going to buy it online? Sometimes online can be overwhelming because there are so many choices out there. That's why I always say, if you are looking to buy something and you're really not sure, you can always shoot me an email and ask me, you know, what do you think is the best? Here's my budget. What's the best for my budget? I'm happy to look things up for you and give you links to different, you know, things that are available in your budget that I think would be the best choice for you. So don't hesitate to email me if you have questions about that. These days, most laptops come with at least a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Unless you have, you know, tons and tons of videos and family photos, you're never going to fill that up. So that's not really a factor these days anymore, the hard drive size. So don't necessarily worry about that. Your processor and your RAM are going to be your two next things to look at. So the processor speed basically says how fast can this computer work? How many programs can I have open at one time and be able to switch between the windows? If you're someone that's on the computer and you're doing, you know, 5 different things at the same time, you're going to want a good processor. You're going to want a processor that's going to be fast for you and not get bogged down. Also, when you're looking at the lower end of processors, it's something that's going to only last for a few years because it's going to get outdated. It's going to get slower. You're going to find yourself wanting to upgrade within a few years if you buy at the lower end. Obviously, the more money you spend, you usually get a better product. You got to be careful with that sometimes, in my opinion. If you're building a computer on the Dell website, you know, you might pay a certain amount of money for the same components that you could have gotten if you bought in a pre-built computer. So those are things that you always got to look at. A lot of people ask me too about, well, if you're buying a bunch of computers at a time, do you get a discount? And you really don't anymore. You used to in the past. You could get a deal with Dell, or you could get a deal with someone, and if I bought, you know, 5 or 6 computers at the same time, they would take a discount off. They don't really do that anymore. Century 21 does have a business benefit through Dell, so you can get the discount. Like I said, Lenovo does through NAR. So always look for those discounts as well to help you save some money. Windows 7 versus Windows 8, that's a hot topic right now as well. You can still order a laptop with Windows 7. It'll come typically with a free upgrade to Windows 8. A lot of people are hearing, and I've seen a lot of negative feedback about Windows 8. Again, it's one of those things where Microsoft is trying to be on trend, and basically the trend right now is everyone's moving to a touchscreen of some sort. Everyone's going to either have a touchscreen laptop or a touchscreen tablet. For a big touchscreen computer, that seems to be what people think is the wave of the future. Well, we're all not all there yet. We all don't have a tablet. We all don't have a touchscreen. So Windows 8 can be very frustrating if you don't have a touchscreen device. You do actually have to go in and make some changes to make it work for you. So some people would prefer, you know, to start off with Windows 7 and then maybe upgrade to Windows 8 at a later time. That option is still available, especially if you're looking and you're buying online. Let's see. The other thing is RAM. So RAM is your memory, virtual memory they call it, for your computer. So basically means how much memory can your computer access while it's working. Again, this is one of those things where more is better. So 4 gigabytes of RAM, in my opinion, is the minimum that you should be looking at. If you are looking at a laptop and it only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, I would say no. I'm going to say no all the time because that's going to become outdated very quickly, and you're going to get frustrated with it very quickly. It's not going to be able to do as much as you want it to do. So go with 4 as the minimum, 6 as really good. If you actually get up into the higher, price points, you're going to find stuff with 8. That's going to last you a long time. The other thing, too, is so my budget is this right now, so I can only afford a laptop that has 4. That's fine. Just make sure that you can add more to that laptop down the road if you need to. So that's another question. If you're, at Best Buy or something, to ask, does this laptop have the ability to add more RAM to it? When you come armed with those questions, I think you'll find that it's a lot easier to talk to people when they think that you know what you're talking about, especially when you're at a big box store and asking questions like that. If they think that you're asking the right kind of questions, they tend to steer you one way or the other less. So know what you're looking for. Figure out what you want before you go into a store to look to buy something. Wireless printers. So this is a big thing that I talked about on the road shows, because with wireless printers you can print from your tablet or your cell phone. So that makes it very handy to have those. And you can see right on the NewEd website right there, they've got a laser printer for $68. So the black and white laser printers are really inexpensive these days, and your toner is going to be more expensive, but it's going to last you longer. We all remember inkjet printers, and you could get an inkjet printer for super cheap, but then you're finding that you're going to the store buying these $60 cartridges like every other month for these inkjet printers. Wireless laser is definitely the way to go. Samsung is a great brand for wireless laser printers. So is Brother, as you see here. Those are the 2 brands that I like. HP makes them as well. Dell makes them as well. But I prefer Samsung just because a lot of times when you install a printer, especially HP, you'll find, well, now all of a sudden it installs like 10 other programs on my computer. Like, do I really need a program for buying HP supplies? Do I really need a program for this? Do I need a program for that? And that actually that's called bloatware. So that stuff that devices will install onto your computer, that's extra stuff that you don't really need, but they put it in there anyway. So if someone ever says it to you, that's what bloatware means, is extra software that gets installed on your laptop that you don't really need.
We do have a few
Do we
questions.
still have any questions?
Oh, yep, we've got some questions that came through. We've got 2 from Penny Patterson, and it was about something you said previously. It was about Grenoble. Just wanted to verify what you said.
Oh, Lenovo? Sure.
Lenovo, okay, perfect.
So this is the Lenovo website, and if you look like in the Realtor magazines, they'll have the benefits for NAR, and that'll give you, there's a specific website to use with the NAR discount, so you'll find that, and we can put that in the notes for the webinar. You'll find that in there, and you actually have to create an account with Lenovo to get that discount through NAR. But this is the Lenovo website, and you can see they have some really cool different products. They have what's called the Yoga. So the Yoga is actually a laptop-tablet combination that flips open, and you can put it on your desktop, or you can separate the pieces. So again, but that's going to cost, that's $1,000 for that. So, there are those people that are really into technology and really want the latest products. That would definitely be something for them and for somebody that's got a budget for that.
Okay, another Another question we've got, is Windows XP completely gone?
Windows XP is not completely gone, but you are going to find one of the recent things that came out with South Central MLS is South Central MLS is no longer supporting Windows or supporting Internet Explorer 8. Excuse me. So Internet Explorer 8 is the last version of Internet Explorer that you can use with Windows XP. So as time goes on, you're going to find more and more websites are going to be moving away from compatibility with older software. So you can still use Chrome, which is the Google version of a browser, or Mozilla Firefox. You can use those on Windows XP with South Central Wisconsin MLS. But as time goes on, you're going to find things are moving away from compatibility with that.
All right. We've got two from Amy Scar. One is, does LeadRouter have an Android app? And if they do not, are they planning on it?
LeadRouter has a mobile website for Android right now and just the iPhone app. Okay. So I think probably in the coming months they'll come up with the Android app, but they came out with the iPhone app first. Center 21 tends to develop their apps for the iPhone and the iPad first and then go to the Android. So it's just a mobile website for right now with the Android phones and LeadRouter.
And then she also had a question on, what is it, if we were going to be discussing zip forms and digital ink at all today.
No, probably not, just because we have, you know, a varied audience. We have Wisconsin and Illinois people don't use zip forms and digital ink. But we can definitely, you know, set something up, and Amy and I can talk about that if she needs some help with that.
I think we also do have a webinar set up in the future for specifically Wisconsin zip forms and that as well. But if you have any current questions, Amy, I know that Carrie would be able just to chat with you on that as well. All right. Penny Patterson just had a question. Is a color wireless printer desirable?
Well, definitely if you're the kind of person that prints out either your listing presentation or prints out buyer tour, you know, sheets, and you want them in color, you're going to pay significantly more for a color laser wireless printer than you are for a black and white. So whereas you can get a black and white for $60 to $80, you're going to pay more, like $150 to $200 for a color wireless at the low end, all the way up to $350, depending on if you need an all-in-one, one that does scanning as well. So color has definitely gotten more expensive these days as far as printers go.
Looks like from that end we don't have any more questions. Does anybody have any at the current moment?
Well, that's
all right, you are good.
That's all I have for today. I don't want to keep everybody going. I know everybody's busy. Just wanted to go over a few pieces of questions that I've gotten a lot from people over the last few months. And as always, any questions, you can always email me for sure. And I'm going to put up together a little thing that we'll send out as well as far as the stuff that I went over, the different websites and things like that. So you'll have that information.
Oh, it looks like we've got one more question, Carrie. It's from Pam Hogan. I'm going to let her speak through the microphone. Go ahead, Pam.
All right, thank you. As far as implementing the apps for Realtor.com, C21, and LeadRouter on my phone, I know this probably is extremely simple to do, but how do I do that?
The LeadRouter app, you have to actually go into your LeadRouter account on a computer and go into your profile information and set up a separate password for that, which seems kind of goofy, but that's the way they have it set up. So you have to do that step first, and then download the app to your phone, and then log in using that information that you've created in your profile in LeadRouter. So create the login and password first on the computer in your LeadRouter account, and then download the app and add that. The Realtor.com app, there is just a generic one, but there is one that came out that's specific to agents. That one we're still working with them on setting up on an individual agent basis, because we have a relationship with Realtor.com where we enhance our listings as a company. This is something that you can pay for as an individual. So the people that pay as an individual can set up this Realtor.com app, but we're trying to figure out with Realtor.com how to set that up since we have a company-based account, if that makes any sense. But there is just a general Realtor.com app that you can use as well. And so everyone knows if you're downloading apps for the iPhone and iPad, you're going to iTunes, and for Android, you're going to what's called the Google Play Store now. They made that change probably about 6 months ago. Now it's called the Google Play Store. Any other questions?
Looks like everybody's good right now. Oh, hold on, one more.
Okay.
We've got, what is the store for the iPhone that you mentioned? From Penny Patterson.
Oh, for downloading apps?
Is it for apps, Penny?
iTunes iTunes does everything for iPhones and iPads. So iTunes is your music and it's your app store. Everything that you're going to get for the iPhone and the iPad is going to be through iTunes.
Okay. And then we've got another question from Pam. Go ahead. Pam, did you have another question?
No, I actually tried to lower my hand. Sorry about that.
Sounds good. All right. Well, it looks like we are caught up on questions at the moment. If you have any extra questions, we can, I would definitely suggest just contacting Carrie through email, and that's Carrie@c21affiliated.com. Carrie, thanks so much for